This is Arukh HaShulchan Yardeh Siman Yerches Sif Dalet to Sif Zayin, day 80 of the Supplemental Arukh HaShulchan Yomi series. Dalet Isa Sham concerning Bdika Sakin. Amar Rav Chisda said the Bdika Sakin, the nick in a knife. Harei Kishitatach Bar. It's more. It's ever going to arrest a snag, I guess is the proper term, the nail. Shatzvim Bo, the nail is impeded by it. Shon Chagira, language of Chagira, which I just translated as snagged. Yeshresh Kama Gira. We can explain it the same way we explain Chagira. Chagira with a ches, Agira with an aleph. Those use el ches ayin reish mischafin because those letters are interchangeable in Hebrew. Agira is language of collect. To collect in the harvest time. Here, kites means the harvest of figs, I believe. Pasuk Mishlei. Sakin, the language of the Shas, talks in terms of the, as I mentioned, in terms of the knife. Ogeres psula. If it collects its puzzle, the nick collects the nail inside into it. So that will be the language of snag. I think in English. Oh, yesh fresh milashon chagar. Well, chiger. We can translate it to not. We'll be switching the chesed out, but chesed itself, which sheino lechilu chaver, which means somebody who's lame, can't walk properly, mistaneh and wobbles. So that means that the knife is not. The nail is not progressing properly. Over the course of the knife. But Rashba Zama Farish, Rashba explains Chagura, language of a belt. Chagurba, the nail gets belted into it, adheres to it. Rama writes in the Rama, just like the belt surrounds the body. The I guess that adheres. The nick surrounds the nail. The they were impressed. They were. I think it was the language of deviation. They deviate from their frameworks. It means that the nail is deviated from its normal course to the point that it can feel it. That's the Ra'ah and the Berek HaBayis. So anybody that is going into this etymology all of a sudden, he says there is enough kamina between these interpretations. As we will explain. Okay, hey, das Ramban, Rashba, Ramban and Rashba. The Chagiros Tziporin who Karbeyos me'abdikos the Maya b'Shimsha. This is much of Chudasara. It's much more significant nick than a nick which would be indicated but through a check of via water and sun and the tongue and hair, as we mentioned yesterday. And all these are checked this way. Hold the apki kala. Suppose they hold a light nick, a small nick, which will not do any of the stuff to the nail. Apostles. The Rashba specifically says that. What's his lashon here? Chagura, with a belt. Since they don't bring down the check and the notion of the nail getting chagur, that the Pekim HaKoshu trefa, no matter how small a nick, it trafes. Miu Koshu lavdafka, but of course the Koshu is lavdafka, is not literal. We're going to put this out as something which snags something, at least the Chuda, Sarah, hairbreadth. Otherwise, it's like a curved knife, which is kosher. She's supposed to say, since nothing gets snagged there. The Ra and Rosh hold that the snagging of a nail is also a light nick, a small nick. Says Rosh, this is what the Rosh says. Rif Zal, Levi Mem Rav Chisda B'chima Hika Tzipor. Rif is not the opinion of Chisda that a nick is defined as whatever snags the nail. Yeshua is to those who explain it. Says Shu Sover explain his opinion that he holds the Hanach, the Batke, B'Shim Shomaya, those who checked by the sun and by water and Bisra, V'tufre, and on the flesh and on the nails. Please Rav Chisda argue on Chista, Sabbatikima Koshu Tarfina, and they hold that even the slightest snake trapes, I feel ain't it's but even doesn't snag the nail. Velini to me says the Rosh, it seems, came into Pasuk the Livdok Abisa Vatufa, since the Pasuk they have to check on the flesh and on the nail. Hainu Kadesh Takbo Tzipor, that is what snags the nail. The Gopkim Ashu Margish B'Tzipor, any snag that you, any nick that you feel on the nail. Hainu Kadesh Takbo B'Tziporin. That is whatever snags the nail. Therefore, since he mentioned already Tufra Bisra, he doesn't have to mention Rav Chisda. His meaning is like the Ra. This is what he writes. The language of Takba doesn't mean like a belt, much as a Rashba. But rather it's the deviation of Echrum is going to say. They deviate from the frameworks. Targish, but it's important that the nail feels it. It should say that Kadesh Takor Tziporin, not Kadesh Takbor but Tziporin, but Kadesh Takbor but Tziporin. Shabgima Yachozeres. Chogeres, that the Begima belts it. So I guess that'd be deep. It was like, it was Lash Chagura, it would be not Shatachkor Botziporen, which means it gets snagged by it, but Shatachkor Tziporen, it snags in it. So the Rashba is in the way Rashba interprets with Taka be a much deeper Pekima than the way the Rosh and Ra interpret it, which is that it's not surrounding the nail, but rather it's stopping the nail. They argue that which we said. Ramban Rashi Farshim Shabkima Sovechas Tzipore. The Sovevis Tzipore. Sorry. They hold that the nick surrounds the nail. It's a large nick. Mishim Shemaya larger. Gedola Mishimsha would be a Maya Bisotuva, larger than the ones is specified, but which we indicated by the prior checks. It's only a sensation which the nail will have. The nail can feel even the slightest nick. Even though only like a hairbreadth could actually get into that nick. If it doesn't get in even a hairbreadth, it's nothing. Even the nail feels it. The Zeudam Masasa, it's like the wavy blade, the Kshera, which is kosher, Kmoshi is bird. We shall see. So Mamash Dibra Rabbeinu says the base. This is clearly what the base Yosef writes. Shekosam Shir Pgima Koshu. The shir of the nick is a koshu. Vilvacha Tegar Ba Koshu, as long as it snags something. If you could say even snags a hairbreadth. But you really have to say, including Ramban and Rashba, the nail also feels even a small nick. The lokim out because I'd be so otherwise, what's the check on the flesh and the nail, which recites but they are the chagiras tziporin, not bedikas tziporin, but chagir, which here it's called tufra, but the chagiras tziporin who in your achad something else. Kamashkosamnu for us was something that we in the Rosh Ra hold that it's the same thing. As we said, Kamashkosamnu nitza dina lo plige klau. But it comes as la locha, don't argue at all. Really, I just thought he said that they hold it's a different type of b'dika. No, I guess so. Yeah, he says it's true that I'm not sure why he says that. He says it's true that the b'dikas tufra of bisra, the nail can't feel, but still they said chogeres means that it belts it in. But I guess so maybe even though he holds Chagiras Tzitzipon is one is deeper, but nevertheless, he would also agree with that the B'dikas Tufa is Bisra is even a slight nick. It's not clear why. In the end, he's saying they all agree. In any event, the Beis Yosef says the bottom of the line is that it's a slighter indentation in the knife than the belting indentation. Okay, we'll stop here.